Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Unacademy's YouTube channel, and welcome to today's session of workers' participation in management in India. So let's wait 1 minute, and we would be starting the session. Let others join. Good evening, Palishri. Good evening, everyone. So welcome to Unacademy YouTube channel. Meanwhile, others are joining. Let me introduce myself. My name is Lakshmi Kushwaha, and I am net qualified in Industrial Relations and Labor Welfare with 98.74 percentile, holding 4.5 years of professional experience and more than 2 years of experience in teaching. I'm verified educator and content creator on Unacademy. You can follow me for all the courses related to Code 55, that is your Human Resource Management, Industrial Relations, labor legislations. If you're preparing for PSU, if you're preparing for PhD, if you're preparing for EPFO exam, you can follow me for all the courses related to this exams, and always give your feedback, rate, review after every session. Right? Good evening, Explore the World. Good evening, Savita. Good evening, Preeti. Good evening, Nishika. Welcome to the class. Fine. And yes, I always say, if you want to learn on the India's largest learning platform, join the Unacademy's platform. And yes, you can use my code Lakshmi K Live whenever you are enrolling for the first time on Unacademy platform to unlock the free classes. And best feature about the Unacademy is like special class feature. Why you should attend Unacademy special class? The importance is these classes are interactive, where you can anytime raise your hand and talk to me directly in the live class, ask your doubts. We have the polls, a real-time quiz where you can live attend the quizzes live. We have the notification, you get the notification for every session, you won't miss it. Every class notes downloaded can be downloaded in the form of PDF. You can learn and study at any point of time, anywhere. And very important thing, if you're planning for taking the subscription, please enroll it, because in 3 months, the 3 months and 1 month subscription is going, prices are going to rise. So you can use my code Lakshmi K Live or Lakshmi 12 to get 10% off on your subscription. Right? Fine. Mughal, Reshma, good evening. Savita, good evening. Chalo, welcome everyone. Let's start the session. Okay. Fine. Yes, I hope I'm audible and visible in a proper way. Right. So today we are going to study workers' participation in the you can say workers' participation in management in India. So before we start, actually, what is workers' participation in management? Why it is important? Let's understand what do you mean by the term workers' participation in management. See, as the term says, workers' participation in management. When you involve, when you allow the workers to participate in management decisions, to participate in the decisions which are affecting them, that is called as workers' participation in management. Now, there are different forms, different ranges or different levels at which the workers can participate in management. Before we move ahead to actually the forms and level, why we need to, before we understand the levels, at what level this management participation would be allowed or workers participation would be allowed in management, let's understand what is this participation and how did it came into the existence. So usually what it happens, usually the decisions are made by whom? Employers. Management are the decision makers. But with this study, it was found that people or the employees, when they are allowed to participate in the management or allowed to participate in the decision making function, they become more responsible, they get more attached to it, and they feel that it's their responsibility, since they were part of the decision making, it's their responsibility to make sure that particular process is to be completed on time, and they add maximum effectiveness and efficiency to particular process. With this objective, the workers participation management came into the existence. Now there are different degrees, different forms at what labor management cooperation or workers participation can be done in the industry or any establishment. Different level पे, मतलब हर एक चीज की एक डिग्री होती है, इस डिग्री तक ही पार्टिसिपेशन अलाउड है, इस डिग्री तक आप एक्सटेंड कर सकते हो. इसी तरीके से वर्कर्स पार्टिसिपेशन इन मैनेजमेंट आर बेसिकली अवेलेबल इन 4 टाइप्स: इंफॉर्मेशन शेयरिंग, प्रॉब्लम शेयरिंग, joint consultation, and workers participation in management. Information sharing, problem sharing, joint consultation. Fourth one is workers participation in management. Before we learn them in detail, let's go to the history of workers participation in management. How and when this concept of workers participation was initiated or came into the existence. Why this was considered so important. So if I say, if you are the part of the team, अगर आप एक टीम के पार्ट हो जहां पे लीडर अपने डिसीजंस ले रहा है, यू फील लाइक जब लीडर को ही अपने डिसीजंस लेना है तो मुझे बस उतना ही काम करना है जो मेरी जॉब बचा सके, राइट? So I'm not involved in decisions, so why should I put extra effort to get the goals to be fulfilled for the company? I would only put the efforts कि मेरे goals fulfill हो जाए और मेरी जॉब बनी रहे. So this was the basic idea where when you don't involve the people into the decision making. But इसका उल्टा करके देखो that if you allow the people in decision making, suppose you talk about working condition या process के बारे में बात करो कि this is the process, ऐसे process होता है, हम इसको improve कैसे कर सकते हैं, इसकी efficiency, how we can improve it, how we can make it more effective. This can be best understood by workers who are working in that process, right? So if I am teaching what I should teach you, what you want to learn, it would be more effective if I understand what my students wants to learn, right? If I keep on teaching you something which you are not interested, something which is not relative to the exam, or something which you already know, won't make any difference, or it won't be an effective or efficient class. In order to make it effective in nature, what I want, a participation from my student, right? So when you participate, when you give your choice of topic, you become more responsible to attend them, to learn them, right? That is what the objective is. Now, you should remember that workers' participation management is based on the principle of economic development and regulation. So there are the different types of labor legislation which are framed on the principle of economic development and the regulation. Workers' participation provision has been added into the different legislations with the principle of economic development and the principle of regulation. So कौन से दो principle? Principle of economic development and principle of the regulation. How economic development? When you are allowing the employees to participate in decision making, they feel responsible, they feel learned, they feel you can say informed. So obviously it is increasing the economic development. Regulation, it is maintaining the relationship between employee and employer. When employee is allowed to participate, they feel that they are also the part of the organization. Ultimately, it build up the good relationship, harmonious relationship between employee and the employer. Understood the two basic principles on what the workers' participation management is based upon: economic development, regulation. Good evening, Manoj, good evening, Sakshi, Urmila, good evening, Dolly, good evening, Nikita, good evening, Ankita, good evening. Fine. Slides are not clear. Please refresh. Nishika, please refresh from your side. Proxima, good evening. Good evening, Varuna. Welcome to the class. So, let's understand the history. It was the first. We know Whiteley Committee. We all know Whiteley Committee. Or we all know what? हमारा जो रॉयल कमीशन है, रॉयल कमीशन इन इंडिया, Royal Commission of Labour 1929 India, which was the first commission to actually study the labor condition in India, right? What is the condition of the industry? What are the problems faced by the people in India and so on, right? So it started from event of the Whiteley Council, Royal Commission of Labour 1929 in India. So it was back in 1929 when Whiteley Commission during the First World War, they realized that a peace and the harmonious relation can be maintained in the industry when employees were allowed to participate, when workers were allowed to participate. This thing which happened during after the First World War, when industrial peace was maintained in some industry by participation, they understood that it's very important to involve the employees into the decision making. That particular thing gave or made Whiteley Commission or Whiteley Council to give rise to workers' participation management concept. So what did they give? The committee recommended the formation of joint industrial council. What? Remember it. Joint industrial councils where in well-organized industries, district councils at district level, and work committees in all industrial establishment. So they gave three levels: joint industrial council at industrial level, district council as district level, and work committees at the industrial establishment. These three levels or these three councils were named as Whiteley Council. Understood? The history, the first point, Royal Commission of Labour, they started with the three levels: in the Joint Industrial Council, district level, and your work committee. Next was your Neil W. Chamberlain. He gave the terminology called conjunction. He was the author who gave the understanding of the term called conjunction. According to this author, conjunction का मतलब क्या है? Most of the time when the employees are not allowed to participate or employees are the one who just need to do the work. उनको कोई target दिया गया, उनको काम दिया गया, and they are supposed to do the work. Now what is the tendency of the laborers क्या करते हैं? Workers क्या करते हैं? Instead of giving their best, what they do? They provide the least efforts, itne least effort just to save their employment. This phenomena or this particular condition he named as conjunction. He said, if you want your employees to give maximum productivity, the participation of employees is important. So second term is conjunction, which was given by Neil W. Chamberlain, a word used by N. W. Chamberlain denoting a state of relationship under which parties in industries, instead of offering their best offer the least, in the absence of which the relationship will break. In other words, the worker attempts to produce only that much which can help them in the employment. वो केवल उतना participation देते हैं जो उनकी employment को save करे. So now Neil said, now if you want your employees to give maximum, offer the best, you should make the arrangement that there is the participation. Under existing institutional arrangements, special efforts have to be made to induce them to put forth their best efforts for productive purposes. Understood? The second point? Yes. कौन से यूनिट में आता है वर्कर्स पार्टिसिपेशन? इंडस्ट्रियल रिलेशन में यूनिट नंबर 5. इंडस्ट्रियल रिलेशन में यूनिट नंबर 5. ठीक है आशीष, गुड इवनिंग. वीडियो क्वालिटी चेंज करो इफ इट इज नॉट. या आशीष, गुड इवनिंग एंड वेलकम टू दिस सेशन. ओके, यहां तक समझ में आ गया एवरीवन? लेट्स मूव टू नेक्स्ट. नेक्स्ट इज योर industrial policy under the 6th 5-year plan. We started with Royal Commission. We did Neil Chamberlain. Next comes your industrial policy under the 6th 5-year plan. अब ये क्या है? This was 6th 5-year plan. 6th 5-year plan में they also gave the understanding how important is workers' participation for the improvement of the productivity. They said workers' participation at enterprise. At what level? At enterprise level should be there as an integral part of industrial relation system. आप workers को ऐसे involve करो कि वो आपके industrial system का, industrial relation system का integral part बन जाए. ऐसे नहीं, occasionally नहीं. It should not be occasionally, but it should be an integral part. Basis on this, the committee, एक committee form की गई थी. The committee has the representative of employers, trade unions, government, academies. In committee members ने suggest किया that there should be a 3-tier prospective participation, 3-tier level or 3 different levels of participation of workers. कौन से 3 level? Shop floor, plant and your corporate broad levels. So how many? Shop floor, plant and corporate or board levels participation. Their recommendation was incorporated in the workers participation of workers management bill in 1990. So I have made you understand this. Just let me read this out. The plan considered workers' participation management as a level of enterprise as an integral part of industrial relations system of country. Based on the recommendation of the committee consisting of representative of employer, trade union, government and academies, the plan arrested that need for enacting the legislation providing three-tier participative forum at shop floor, plant and corporate board levels. Most of the recommendations of the committee were subsequently incorporated in the participation of workers in management bill 1990. ठीक है, आ रहे हैं हम, आ रहे हैं, ठीक है, एक एक करके आ रहे हैं. Any memory tricks to remember labor law section numbers? Varuna, if you want to remember the sections के number, first of all, most of the time exam में sections नहीं पूछते हैं. I would rather say just you need to attend my classes of labor legislation. क्योंकि ट्रिक आपको क्लास के दौरान ही समझ में आती है. आई लिंक द डिफरेंट सेक्शंस टुगेदर. वंस यू अटेंड माय लेबर लेजिस्लेशन क्लासेस यू वुड नेवर हैव द क्वेश्चन हाउ टू रिमेंबर द सेक्शन. ठीक है, वर्मा कमिटी क्या है, शॉप फ्लोर क्या है, आई एम एक्सप्लेनिंग यू. यहां तक अगर समझ में आ गया है, प्लीज mark in the comment section that you have understood it. So industrial relation policy under the sixth 5-year plan. ये जो वर्मा कमिटी है वो कौन सी है? Will come to that, Nikita. Next comes your work participation of workers in management bill 1990. ये कहां से आया था? ये आपके 6th 5-year plan से आया था. ठीक है, इसके अंदर में जो कंपोनेंट्स आए थे वो कहां से आए थे? वो 6th 5-year plan से आया था. ठीक है, नाउ व्हाट डिड पार्टिसिपेशन ऑफ वर्कर्स मैनेजमेंट बिल 1990 ऑफर्ड? इस बिल के अंदर देयर वाज द 3-tier सिस्टम ऑफ वर्कर्स पार्टिसिपेशन. शॉप फ्लोर काउंसिल, एस्टैब्लिशमेंट काउंसिल, रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ द बोर्ड ऑफ द मैनेजमेंट. रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ बोर्ड ऑफ द मैनेजमेंट. दिस बिल वाज इंट्रोड्यूस्ड इन 1990 बट इट नेवर पास्ड. ये पास नहीं हो पाया. बट यू नीड टू रिमेंबर, इसने क्या दिया? वर्कर्स पार्टिसिपेशन दिए 3 लेवल्स पे. शॉप फ्लोर काउंसिल, एस्टैब्लिशमेंट काउंसिल, रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑन बोर्ड ऑफ मैनेजमेंट. ये 3 टायर वर्मा वाज इन वर्मा ओनली. विल एक्सप्लेन निकिता, हम समझेंगे उसको भी. ठीक है, फाइन. लेट्स मूव टू नेक्स्ट. नाउ कम्स योर वर्मा कमिटी 1977. सो अगेन दिस 3-tier अभी जो हमने पढ़ा वो सेम 3-tier सिस्टम in 1977 the government of India appointed a committee under the chairmanship of Ravindra Verma, the incumbent minister of the labor. This committee recommended a 3-tier system of participation and suggested a legislation for implementation of this scheme. So जो कमिटी थी, वर्मा कमिटी जो थी, इस कमिटी के अंदर कौन थे? ट्रेड यूनियन, जो हमने अभी पढ़ी थी. निकिता वाज राइट. अभी जो हमने कमिटी पढ़ी थी जिसमें ट्रेड यूनियन थे, गवर्नमेंट थे, एकेडमियंस थे, उन्होंने कमिटी ने सजेस्ट क्या किया? 3-tier सिस्टम. कौन सी 3-tier सिस्टम? शॉप फ्लोर, एस्टैब्लिशमेंट, रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ द बोर्ड ऑफ मैनेजमेंट. along with this 3-tier system उन्होंने एक और चीज रिकमेंड की थी, वो थी ऑप्शनल स्कीम फॉर इक्विटी पार्टिसिपेशन. द कमिटी ऑल्सो रिकमेंडेड an optional scheme for equity participation and specified in detail the areas of operation of various forums stipulated under the recommendation. So Verma Committee 1977, 3-tier system as well as optional scheme for equity participation that you need to remember. Sixth comes your Factories Act 1948. Section 41G talks about what? Workers' participation in management through safety management. So Factories Act ka section 41G says that every occupier of the factory is his responsibility wherever the hazardous, whichever factory is involved in hazardous process, would make sure that it set up a safety committee consisting of equal number of employee and employers representative. Why this safety committee should be there? This committee would help in managing proper safety and health at the work. Now, this section was introduced in the chapter 4th A. This chapter 4th A was added to the Factories Act by the Amendment Act 1947. So, हमारा Factories Act भी workers participation के बारे में बोलता है. What is hazardous process? Hazardous process का मतलब होता है कोई भी एक ऐसा प्रोसेस जो लाइफ थ्रेटनिंग हो और एनवायरमेंट में इल इफेक्ट करता हो, लाइक केमिकल्स। अगर आप केमिकल्स की बात करो, ऐसी फैक्ट्री जहां केमिकल्स यूज करते हैं जिससे एक्सप्लोजन हो सकता है, ब्लास्ट हो सकता है, एनवायरमेंट को इफेक्ट हो सकता है, ये सारी चीजें होते हैं हजार्डस सब्सटेंसेस या हजार्डस प्रोसेस. So according to the Factories Act as defined in section number, what is the section for the hazardous process? I am waiting in the comment section, write it down. So as defined in the Factories Act, hazardous process is the process which causes or which is an process which is an life threatening or which causes the ill effect on the environment until and unless special care has been taken. ये जो until and unless of special care है, मतलब जब तक आप प्रिकॉशनरी मेजर्स नहीं ले रहे हो और उसके बाद ये सारे प्रोसेस में आप इन्वॉल्व हो, जहाँ एक्सप्लोजन हो सकता है, एनवायरमेंट को हार्म हो सकता है, तो हम सारे ऐसे प्रोसेस को कहेंगे हजार्डस प्रोसेस. ठीक है? नो, it's not 41. I'm asking for the definition. Section for definition for the hazardous process. ठीक है? So Factories Act 1948 सेक्शन 41G तो पूरा चैप्टर है जो हजार्डस प्रोसेस से रिलेटेड. सेक्शन 2CB, हाँ, सो योर पूरा का पूरा चैप्टर हजार्डस प्रोसेस के बारे में कहता है, साइट कमिटी के बारे में, इंक्वायरी कमिटी के बारे में, सेफ्टी कमिटी के बारे में, वो पूरा एक चैप्टर है. नेक्स्ट कम्स, अभी जो हमने डिफरेंट डिग्री पढ़ी थी कि कौन से डिग्रीज पे, व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट डिग्रीज और द लेवल एट विच द वर्कर्स कैन बी अलाउड टू पार्टिसिपेट. फर्स्ट इज योर इंफॉर्मेशन शेयरिंग. व्हाट इज इंफॉर्मेशन लेवल? नाउ दिस डिग्री कौन से लेवल पे आप वर्कर्स को अलाउ कर सकते हो पार्टिसिपेशन पे. इंफॉर्मेशन शेयरिंग मीन्स व्हाट? इन दिस पर्टिकुलर लेवल और डिग्री ऑफ पार्टिसिपेशन, employer agrees to share the information regarding those working condition or those terms of employment which are going to affect the work, those business conditions which are going to generally affect the workers, like what would be the productivity, how the productivity would be increased, what would be the working hours, what would be the number of the holidays in the week. So information about all this which are affecting the workers. So इस फॉर्म में केवल इंफॉर्मेशन शेयर होती है, नथिंग एल्स. So employers agree to undertakes to keep the employees informed about business conditions and general prospects of the company, about changes in the methods of production they put into effect. So I'm not reading it completely, I'm just giving you the understanding. जहां पे केवल इंफॉर्मेशन शेयरिंग की जाती है वो होता है आपका इंफॉर्मेशन शेयरिंग लेवल. नेक्स्ट इज प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग. This is kind of an problem solving where if employer faces certain problem, it is a kind of normal consultation. ठीक है? Normal consultation. Here, if the employer faces any problem into the production or any work related to the organization or establishment, they share the problem with the workers or the union. The workers or the unions are consulted. They asked, this is a kind of cooperation, that we are facing certain problems in productivity, please help us, please consult. So now on particular issue, the workers and the union give their consultation or give their suggestion, but it is again dependent upon whom? It is dependent upon the manager whether they would be accepting their suggestion or not. Problems sharing is specific problems. सारी नहीं, सब में consult नहीं कर रहे हो आप. Specific problem, जब कोई condition आती है, उस केस में the relationship between the amalgamated clothing workers of America and clothing factories in as illustration type of the experience. So this is a kind of problem solving. Clear everyone? The second, so this is the second problem solving. Third one is joint consultation. Now what is joint consultation? Joint consultation is the level at which discussion, a joint consultation is made between the management and the employee. क्या होगा? Their suggestions, they give their suggestions, they give their right, they give their points, and again it's the management decision whether they are accepting or not. But ये joint consultation होगा. They would come, discuss, and it would be the joint consultation where the decisions would be made on the best option. So consultation also provides the management an occasion to explain its own aims and problem. Management retain its prerogative to manage, that is exclusive right to take the decision. Finally, उस वही decision फाइनली डिसीजन वुड बी मेड बाय द मैनेजमेंट ओनली। यहाँ पे केवल कंसल्ट कर रहे हैं, कंसल्ट कर लिया, पूछ लिया, आप बताओ, लेकिन डिसीजन मैनेजमेंट के हाथ में होगा। It also has a clear and undivided responsibility results of its action. When consulted, workers and their unions may offer their suggestions and give their viewpoint, but cannot insist their viewpoints to be accepted. Consultation in this form does not employ joint decision making. It's an consultation. It's not the joint decision making. Done? एम्प्लॉय को प्रॉब्लम हुआ तो, एम्प्लॉय को अगर प्रॉब्लम हुआ मनोज, तो वो जाते हैं, वो भी वर्कर्स पार्टिसिपेशन के थ्रू, कलेक्टिव बार्गेनिंग के थ्रू जाते हैं। वो अगर एम्प्लॉय को कोई प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है तो वो कलेक्टिव बार्गेनिंग के थ्रू एम्प्लॉयर के साथ डिस्कशन में बैठते हैं। ठीक है, सो दिस इज जॉइंट कंसल्टेशन। लास्ट इज योर वर्कर्स पार्टिसिपेशन इन मैनेजमेंट। अंडर दिस फॉर्म द प्रोसेस ऑफ डिसीजन मेकिंग बिकम्स रियली जॉइंटली एंड बायपोटाइट इन नेचर। ठीक है, बायपोटाइट। जॉइंट कंसल्टेशन क्या है? केवल कंसल्टेशन है, वहां पे जॉइंट डिसीजन नहीं होता है। वर्कर्स पार्टिसिपेशन इज द हाईएस्ट लेवल वेयर जॉइंट डिसीजन इज मेड। एक साथ डिसीजन बनाएंगे, जो भी दोनों लोग इन्वॉल्व होंगे, इक्वल पार्टिसिपेशन एम्प्लॉय एंड एम्प्लॉयर का, एंड दे वुड बी मेकिंग जॉइंट डिसीजन। बोथ यूनियन एंड मैनेजमेंट विल बी गिविंग देयर पॉइंट्स एंड जॉइंटली डिसीजंस वुड बी मेकन गिवन, एंड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज बोथ ऑफ देम, दोनों की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी होगी कि ये पर्टिकुलर जो हमने डिसीजन लिया है प्रॉपरली इंप्लीमेंट किया जाए, फोकस किया जाए, उस पर काम किया जाए। ठीक है, सो बट द यूनियन एंड द मैनेजमेंट मे हैव से, बोथ द यूनियन एंड मैनेजमेंट हैव टू से इन डिसीजन मेकिंग, एंड दे आल्सो अंडरटेक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी फॉर रिजल्ट ऑफ देयर एक्शन। यस, आर्टिकल नंबर 43A may imply representation of the workers on board of directors of company. So ये board of directors में भी participation हो सकता है, or it may simply mean the establishment of joint council consisting of representative of workers and management. So highest level पे workers participation board level पे हो सकता है, या फिर केवल एक joint council level पे। This was the different level. Information sharing, केवल sharing the information. Then comes problem solving. Whenever the employer or management faces the problem, तब उनको consult करेंगे। Joint consultation. Joint consultation is where they consult, only consult. Decision is with the management. Workers participation, this is actually a joint decision making. Act 43A article is the article which is mentioned in the Constitution. The Constitution of India, article number 43A talks about workers participation in management in India. Now, schemes of workers participation in India. Schemes, now we would be studying कि कौन सी schemes थी जो इंडिया में एक एक करके आई हैं। सेक्शन 3, हमारा जो इंडस्ट्रियल डिस्प्यूट एक्ट है 1947, अंडर इंडस्ट्रियल डिस्प्यूट एक्ट 1947 it gives the provisions of work committee. Work committee, this particular provision says that the industry, the establishment which is having or employing 100 or more workmen, 100 or more workmen, the government, central government or the state government may give the order by special or the general orders to the employer to constitute work committee. What would be the composition of work committee? Equal number of employee and equal number of the employer. So पहली scheme, Industrial Dispute Act 1947, section number 3, the provision of work committee. कितनी requirement? Employing 100 or more. Then 1947 में the Industrial Truce Resolution adopted at the Industries Conference recommended Unit Production Committee. What they recommended? Unit Production Committee. Who recommended? Industrial Truce Resolution. Unit Production Committee in industrial establishment for promoting efficiency of workers and improving the production. General consultation, problem solve, sharing. Yes, correct, Dolly. ठीक है, clear? First two schemes, Industrial Dispute Act, Industrial Truce Resolution. Then came Industrial Policy Resolution 1948. The government of India accepted in principle of establishment of bipartite production committee consisting of representative of employer and workers. Good evening, Bhisham, good evening. Welcome to the class. Industrial Policy Resolution 1948 में आया. What did it accept? The principle of bipartite. Bipartite means what? where there are two representative, employees and employer. So they accepted the formation or the establishment of bipartite production committee. किसने? Industrial Policy Resolution of 1948, bipartite production committee. Then in 1958, an ambitious scheme of Joint Management Council JMC was introduced. Which? Joint Management Council. ये सारी चीजें होती क्या है, शॉप काउंसिल क्या है, जॉइंट मैनेजमेंट काउंसिल क्या है, हम अभी पढ़ेंगे डिटेल में. ठीक है, किसको बोलते हैं, क्या लेवल पे होती है, अभी हम पढ़ेंगे इन स्कीम्स के बाद में. सो 1958 में an ambitious scheme of Joint Management Council JMC was introduced. Subsequently, forums of shop councils and joint councils were introduced under the old 20-point program. अब ये old 20-point program क्या है? We'll study in detail. For now, you remember 1948 के बाद में 1951 में 58 में कौन आया? Joint Management Council was introduced. इन्होंने क्या दिया? Shop Council, Joint Councils. Now, 1977, institutions of workers' participation in management were established in commercial and service organization in the public sector. So, it was 1977. Public, commercial और आपके service organization में the workers' participation in management was introduced. So, you need to remember which year the workers' participation in management was introduced in commercial, service or public sector. It was 1977. In 1976, Article 43A was inserted in Indian Constitution under the directive principles of state policy. 43A of DPSP. What is DPSP? Directive Principle of State Policy. What does this say? That it is the responsibility of every state to make participation in management. मतलब एक ये स्टेट की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि अगर उस वहां पे कोई एस्टेब्लिशमेंट है, कोई ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, कोई इंडस्ट्री है, वो सुटेबल स्टेप लेगी ऐसे लेजिस्लेशन फॉर्म करने की जो अलाउ करेगी या फिर प्रोविजंस रखेगी वर्कर्स पार्टिसिपेशन इन मैनेजमेंट को. तो ये कौन से ईयर में आया था? 1976 में. कौन से आर्टिकल? 43A में. ठीक है. न्यू स्कीम ऑफ एम्प्लॉयज पार्टिसिपेशन इन मैनेजमेंट फॉर पब्लिक सेक्टर undertaking was introduced in 1983. Then again in 1983, only for the public undertaking, it was introduced to have employees participation. Worker नहीं, यहाँ पे word क्या use किया है? Employees participation. 1990, a comprehensive workers participation management bill was introduced, जो अभी हमने थोड़ी देर पहला पढ़ा था, was introduced in parliament but it has not been passed yet. ये अभी तक pass नहीं हुआ है. These were the schemes history के हिसाब से. Now, main schemes of workers participation in management experimented in India. अब हम चलते हैं, समझते हैं ये शॉप काउंसिल क्या है, जॉइंट काउंसिल क्या है, यूनिट काउंसिल क्या है, जॉइंट मैनेजमेंट काउंसिल क्या है, ये कैसे आए और इनका मतलब क्या है. वर्क्स कमिटी 1947, जॉइंट मैनेजमेंट काउंसिल 1958, board level participation 1970, shop council and joint council under old 20 program 1975, unit council and joint council in commercial and service organization in public sector 1977, institution of employees participation in management for public sector 1983, joint council in government services, institution in some enterprise in private sector. Very, very important. Remember the sequence as well. Remember the year they came into the existence. Very important from exam point of view. Let's understand. Work Committee 1947. The same thing. Section 3 of Industrial Dispute Act gives that every the state government or the central government by special or the specific order can ask the employer to formulate the work committee if it is employing 100 or more workmen. ठीक है. Now इसमें both central as well as the state government can frame the rule in regard of the work committee. Work committee selection of representatives in the sense employee के representative कैसे select होंगे, employer के representatives कैसे select होंगे. Periodicity for the meetings, कब कब meeting होगी इस work committee की. This is given in the section 3 of Industrial Dispute Act. Now this is very important. व्हाट आर दी प्रोविजंस और व्हाट आर दी मैटर जो वर्क कमिटी डील करती है। सी, जितने वर्किंग कंडीशन से रिलेटेड मैटर होंगे, प्रोसेस से रिलेटेड मैटर होंगे, वर्किंग कंडीशन से रिलेटेड मैटर होंगे, वेलफेयर से रिलेटेड मैटर होंगे, वेलफेयर फैसिलिटीज से मैटर रिलेटेड होंगे, ये सारे मैटर्स पे वर्क कमिटी डील करती है। कौन से मैटर्स पे वर्क कमिटी डील नहीं करती है? वेजेस, अलाउंसेस, बोनस, विक्टिमाइजेशन, इन सब चीजों पे वर्क कमिटी डील नहीं करती है। सो छुट्टियां, छुट्टियां कब होंगी, फेस्टिवल, नेशनल फेस्टिवल्स, हाउसिंग, ट्रांसपोर्ट, ये सारी चीजों पे वर्क कमिटी डील नहीं करती है। किस पे डील करेगी? कंडीशन ऑफ वर्क। व्हाट वुड बी द कंडीशन ऑफ द वर्क? सो वर्क कमिटी में वर्कर्स पार्टिसिपेशन कैन बी वेयर दे आर giving their suggestions or participating in decision making regarding the working condition, ventilation, temperature, amenities, welfare facilities like health facilities like drinking water, canteen, crèches, medical and health, safety and accident prevention, occupational diseases, preventive equipment, adjustment of festivals, national holidays, administration of welfare and fine funds, educational and recreational activities such as libraries, reading rooms, sports, games, community, ये सारे के सारे हैं जिनमें वर्क कमिटी डील करती है मैटर्स पे। जो डील नहीं करती है, वेजेस, बोनस, प्रॉफिट शेयरिंग स्कीम, rationalization, matter connected with retrenchment and layoff, victimization for trade union activities, provident fund, gratuity scheme and other retirement, quantum for leave, national festival holidays and housing transport facility. Yes, जो शॉप फ्लोर है, वेरी ट्रू सविता, जो शॉप फ्लोर यानी जो डिपार्टमेंट एक यूनिट लेवल का होता है, जो शॉप फ्लोर पे, अब ये शॉप फ्लोर क्या हम समझेंगे, उसी लेवल के मैटर वो डील करती है। बाहर, इंडस्ट्री के बाहर के मैटर जो नेशनल लेवल पे आते हैं, उन मैटर्स पे वो डील नहीं करती है। नाउ देन केम योर जॉइंट काउंसिल 1958, जॉइंट मैनेजमेंट काउंसिल। We just now studied कि industrial policy resolution of 1956 have put forward what? Joint Management Council. They came forward with the bold policy statement in regard to the workers' participation in management. The second 5-year plan. So हमारा 6th भी है 5 year, second 5-year plan. Leave work matters नहीं हुआ, नहीं, no. छुट्टियां डिसाइड करना डॉली इज नॉट कि लीव कब होगी, आपकी यू कैन से वीकली हॉलीडेज की बात नहीं कर रहे हैं, यहाँ पे हम बात कर रहे हैं नेशनल हॉलीडेज की। ठीक है, नेशनल हॉलीडेज पे वो डील नहीं करेगी डॉली, ठीक है, वो ऑफिसर्स होते हैं, वो लोग डील करेंगे। So second 5-year plan also recommended the establishment of council of management consisting of representative of management, technicians and workers in larger industrial undertaking. So हमारे second 5-year plan ने क्या recommend किया? Council of Management consisting of representative of management, technicians and workers in the large industrial undertaking. ठीक है, then there was a committee formulated by 15th session of Indian Labour Conference in order to study the importance of this workers participation. They appointed a tripartite committee. किसने? 15th session of Indian Labour Conference. This tripartite committee organized 2 seminars to understand workers participation in management. Now this seminar, which happened in 1958 and 1960 में, they emerged with a draft. This draft gave, or this, they emerged with an output, or they emerged with a draft which was saying or which was talking about joint management council. So आपका ये joint management council कहाँ से आया? 15th session of Indian Labour Conference से, by tripartite committee which held the seminars. So it was the draft created by the seminar in 15th session of Indian Labour Conference which gave joint management council. What was the objective of this joint management councils? Promoting a coordinal relationship between management and the workers, developing understanding and trust between them, augmenting the productivity and sustainability, securing better welfare and other facilities for worker, training them to understand and share the responsibilities of management. अच्छा relationship maintain करना, developing the trust between employee and employer, increasing the productivity substantially, दिखना चाहिए productivity increase, welfare facilities for the workers, and to train the management and the employees, both them to understand their responsibilities. अब जॉइंट मैनेजमेंट काउंसिल की कंपोजिशन क्या थी? जब ये रिकमेंड किया गया 1958 में, व्हाट वाज द कंपोजिशन? इट कंसिस्टेड ऑफ इक्वल रिप्रेजेंटेटिव ऑफ मैनेजमेंट एंड एम्प्लॉइज not exceeding than 12 but not less than 6 in the small undertakings. So what is the composition? Maximum number of 12 but not less than 6 in small industries. कितने होने चाहिए? 12 होने चाहिए, but 6 से कम नहीं. The employees representatives are to be nominated by representative of union if anywhere there is law providing for registration of representative union. So joint management council में equal number of employee and employer. Employees representative has to be selected from the trade union if there exists. Maximum number of the people can be 12, but minimum 6 for the small industry. There are some functions of joint management council. Detail में ज्यादा समझने की जरूरत नहीं है, but you need to understand कि कुछ important function है joint management council के. Consultative, जहां जॉइंट मैनेजमेंट काउंसिल केवल कंसल्ट करती है. जनरल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन लाइक मेथड्स ऑफ प्रोडक्शन क्या होंगे, हाउ यू वुड बी, व्हाट वुड बी द स्टैंडिंग ऑर्डर, क्लोजर, रिडक्शन, सीजेशन ऑफ ऑपरेशन, दैट इज जनरल. देन कम्स इंफॉर्मेशन रिसीविंग एंड सजेशन मेकिंग. दिस इज इंफॉर्मेशन डिसमिएशन. जनरल इकोनॉमिक सिचुएशन, sharing the circumstances, what are the factors in the economic position or what are the factors in the economy that is affecting the manufacture, that is affecting the production. That was information receiving and suggestion. Administrative function, this included the functions related to welfare measure, supervision of safety, vocational training, schedule of working hours, payment of rewards and so on. So this was administrative. ये है consultative, जहां कंसल्ट करोगे आप. इंफॉर्मेशन शेयर करोगे, लॉन्ग प्लान्स, शॉर्ट प्लान्स, सो ऑन. इंफॉर्मेशन शेयर करना, और ये है आपके एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव फंक्शन. जस्ट गो थ्रू द चार्ट एंड यू वुड रिमेंबर देम इन डिटेल. देन केम योर बोर्ड लेवल पार्टिसिपेशन इन 1970. वर्क कमिटी कर लिया, जॉइंट मैनेजमेंट काउंसिल कर लिया, अब आ रहा है आपका बोर्ड लेवल पार्टिसिपेशन. It was in 1970, Government of India introduced a scheme of workers representative on board of directors of selected public sector enterprise and nationalized banks. So first it was introduced where? Selected public sectors and nationalized bank. What? Participation of the workers at the board level. In most cases, workers' representatives have been unable to make any significant contribution in the process of decision making, as they found their role as a trade unionist in conflict with the board member. But this was the drawback. वो अपना contribution नहीं दे पाए because उनको लगा इस level पे भी somewhere if they are participating it was against or it was conflicting the trade union objective. Then came your workers participation under old 20-point program. अब ये old 20-point program क्या है? It is an socio-economic program which was introduced in 1975 by Indira Gandhi and then the Prime Minister, which has got 20 specific measures जो अभी भी operation में है. क्या measures थे? There were number of the measures related to what? कौन से unit से start करूं? ठीक है, I will explain you. And I am pursuing masters in industrial relations and proposals. So when are you preparing, Manoj? When are you planning to give your exam? Please let me know that. Fine. So what is it? What it is? Socio-economic program. इस पे PYQ आ चुका है 2 बार. एक है match the following कि 20 point program क्या है? It was the socio-economic program and 20 program. So workers participation of management was introduced in which of the scheme options were given. So 2 PYQ पूछे जा चुके. In pursuance of mandate under the point number 15. 20 point program में point number 15 talks about what? Workers participation in management. So 20 program of 1975 of introduction of new scheme of workers association in industry. The government of India framed a scheme workers participation in industry at shop floor, plant levels. किस level पे? 20 point program में point number 50 Workers' participation at management at what level? Shop floor and plant level. The schemes applied now where this 20 program was applicable. It was applicable in manufacturing and mining industries in public, private and cooperative sector. सब जगह पे public, private and cooperative sector as well as those run departmentally employing 500 or more workers. कितने 500 या more workers हैं किसी भी manufacturing, mining industry में, चाहे वो public sector से हो, चाहे वो private sector से हो, चाहे वो cooperative sector से हो. So it was given in 20-point program the workers participation at shop floor as well as plant level. The scheme provided for the establishment of shop council at the shop departmental level, joint council at enterprise level. Here is the answer. What is shop level? It is shop or departmental level. If there is a department of production, if there is a department of you can say packaging, if there is a department of welding, so at the departmental level, there should be a workers' participation and joint council at enterprise level. There can be different plants, enterprises for the one industry. So shop council at department, joint council at enterprise level. ये किसने suggest किए थे? ये suggest किए थे 20-point program में. So now where is shop council created? ये shop council कहाँ create किए जाएंगे? So every industrial unit which is having 500 or more workers is required to constitute a shop council for each department or shop. One shop council for more than one department or shop, keeping in view the number of the workers employed in departments or the shop. Understood what is shop council? So shop council is to be constituted in the industry having 500 or more, every shop council for every shop and department. Now what is the composition? Equal number of representative of employers and employees. Total number should not exceed 12. How many? 12. Now the decision, ये शॉप काउंसिल जो डिसीजन बनाएगी, ये डिसीजन होगी कॉन्सेंसस के बेसिस पे, यानी कलेक्टिव डिसीजन मेकिंग. इट वोंट बी ऑन वोटिंग कि आप वोट करो, मैक्सिमम वोट जिसको मिलेंगे हम वो डिसीजन लोगे. नहीं, कॉन्सेंसस. लाइक बेटर अंडरस्टैंडिंग. द चेयरमैन ऑफ शॉप काउंसिल इज टू बी अ नॉमिनी ऑफ मैनेजमेंट and vice chairman is to be elected by worker members amongst themselves. So shop council is at the shop level, departmental level, having 500 or more employees. It can be more than one also depending upon workers. Maximum number of 12 representative of employee and employer in one shop council. Voting के basis पे नहीं, on basis of consensus the decisions would be made. There would be a chairman who would be a representative of management and vice chairman who would be elected by workers amongst themselves. Here shop council is clear. Next comes your joint council. Joint council is at industrial level. Industrial unit, different industrial plants होते हैं. The composition of joint council, the period for its operation and decision making process are similar to the shop council. Period is same, decision making process is same. The only thing is it is at industrial unit level. Unit जो होते हैं enterprise level पे. So chairman is to be chief executive of unit. So unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, or you can say plant 1, plant 2, plant 3. So if there is an joint council, it would be at one unit level, and here the chairman would be chief executive of this unit. One member of joint council to be appointed as secretary, and one of this would be a secretary for that particular joint council. It has to meet once in a quarter, and decision whichever is taken in the joint council, it has to be implemented within 1 month. Otherwise decision would be, so it won't be considered. 1 month के अंदर उसे apply करना है. Understood everyone? Shop council, joint council given by 20-point program under point 15. ठीक है? Workers participation, shop council, shop level, joint council, enterprise or unit level. Then came in 1977 unit council, joint council in commercial and service organization in public sector. Public sector में commercial and service organizations के लिए unit council and joint council was introduced in 1977. In a view of encouraging the response to the scheme at shop floor and plant level in manufacturing and mining, the government of India decided in 1977 to extend the idea of participation of commercial and service. So अभी हमने इसके पहले जो 20 पॉइंट प्रोग्राम पढ़ा, वहां पे जो शॉप फ्लोर बने थे या शॉप काउंसिल बने थे, उसको एनकरेज करने के लिए 1977 में दे एक्सटेंडेड इट टू कमर्शियल एंड सर्विस सेक्टर organization in public sector having large scale public dealing. The scheme was applied to lowest units of the commercial service organization in public sector. कहां पे applicable थे? Employing 100 or more. ये कहां applicable थी ये scheme? If any of the commercial or service organization in public sector consisted of 100 or more employees at the lowest unit, an organization was however free to apply the scheme if its unit employing the less than 100. So mandatory था कि 100 लोग अगर हैं आपके पास तो आप अप्लाई करोगे, और अगर 100 से कम है इट्स योर चॉइस, आप अप्लाई कर सकते हो। नाउ इस स्कीम के अंदर, इस पर्टिकुलर स्कीम के अंदर क्या था? यूनिट काउंसिल एट यूनिट लेवल एंड जॉइंट काउंसिल एट डिविजनल, रीजनल, जोनल लेवल। दो चीजें, यूनिट काउंसिल एट यूनिट लेवल, जॉइंट काउंसिल एट जोनल, डिविजनल, रीजनल लेवल। क्या याद रखोगे? 100 or more employees, they are in the public sector, they are supposed to have unit council as well as joint council. Below them it's their choice. Fine. So this was given by unit council 1977. Then came scheme of employers participation in public sector undertaking 1983 में। 1983 में एम्प्लॉयज पार्टिसिपेशन, अब यहां वर्कर्स पार्टिसिपेशन नहीं कह रहे हम कह रहे हैं एम्प्लॉयज पार्टिसिपेशन। अ न्यू स्कीम ऑफ एम्प्लॉयज पार्टिसिपेशन इन मैनेजमेंट वाज फॉर्मुलेटेड इन 1983. दिस वाज शॉप लेवल फोरम, प्लांट लेवल फोरम एंड बोर्ड लेवल फोरम. सो न्यू थिंग, अभी तक 1977 तक और उसके 1983 के पहले तक केवल और केवल यूनिट था और इंडस्ट्री लेवल पे था, राइट, शॉप लेवल पे और इंडस्ट्री या आपके यूनिट लेवल पे था. बट 1983 में इट वाज बोर्ड लेवल फोरम. बोथ shop and plant forum consist of representative of management and workers in equal number. The size of forum will vary between the 10 or 20 depending upon the size of workforce. So shop level forum, plant level forum, the number of representative or the workers were between 10 to 20 depending upon the number of the workforce they are having. Now what is shop level forum? The area of shop level forums include production facilities, storage facilities in shop, material economy, operational problems, wastage control. So it is at shop level, departmental level. Plant level. The plant level forum are deliberate in operational, economic and financial personnel welfare and environmental areas. Board level, whenever possible, constitute a board level forum. This is also review the work of shop and plant forum. So ये रिव्यू भी करती है उनके नीचे. सो बोर्ड लेवल रिप्रेजेंटेटिव बोर्ड के डिसीजन में पार्ट लेते हैं. और ये क्या काम करता है बोर्ड लेवल का फोरम? जो शॉप लेवल पे है और जो प्लांट लेवल पे है उनको रिव्यू करना, उनकी डिसीजंस को रिव्यू भी करती है. हाँ, शॉप लेवल यूनिट लेवल डिफरेंट है. शॉप लेवल डिपार्टमेंट है, ठीक है, डिपार्टमेंट. शॉप लेवल अलग है, यूनिट लेवल इज, ठीक है, यूनिट एक यूनिट हो गई, यूनिट है उसका. डन. हमने पढ़ा ना यहाँ पे शॉप, जॉइंट काउंसिल, शॉप काउंसिल. ये जो शॉप काउंसिल है ये डिपार्टमेंट लेवल पे है, जॉइंट काउंसिल है ये इंडस्ट्रियल यूनिट लेवल पे है. फिर दूसरी जगह हमने पढ़ा ये जो यूनिट काउंसिल है ये यूनिट लेवल पे है, जॉइंट काउंसिल है ये डिविजनल, रीजनल और जोनल. समझो क्या है शॉप? दिस इज शॉप इज योर शॉप डिपार्टमेंट, यूनिट इज योर प्लांट या फिर एंटरप्राइज, मतलब जो प्लांट होते हैं 1 2 3 4 5. और आपकी जो जॉइंट काउंसिल है दैट इज योर, अलग अलग इसमें अलग अलग है, ठीक है, डिफरेंस समझना डिफरेंस. जॉइंट काउंसिल यहाँ पे जो दिया है वो डिविजनल पे, रीजनल पे या जोनल लेवल पे जो इंडस्ट्रीज हैं वहां पे होगी. फाइन. सो दीज वेर द इंपॉर्टेंट schemes related to workers participation in management. I tried to cover everything the source for this particular content is your PNR Sinha book. And you can just, if you want to go much more in detail, you can just go through that particular book and you would find everything and you can recheck or check it. My background is science, so I am confused. What's science? Background in the sense, graduation. Manoj, you did BSc. BSc? Graduation, BSc from कौन से यूनिट से स्टार्ट करूं? अच्छा पहले मुझे बताओ, व्हाट आर यू प्रिपेयरिंग व्हेन यू वांट टू गिव द एग्जाम? कब देना चाह रहे हो? फॉर्म भर दिया है? जून में, जून की साइकिल में, द वन विच इज गोइंग टू हैपन नाउ. केमिस्ट्री, फिजिक्स, केमिस्ट्री, मैथ्स. फाइन निकिता. केमिस्ट्री था ना, फिजिक्स, केमिस्ट्री, मैथ्स. सेम, आई ऑल्सो स्टडीड. आई एम ऑल्सो साइंस स्टूडेंट with physics, chemistry, maths, and I did first year है, and I did my human resource management in HR and finance. So I am also same background. अब कहाँ से फर्स्ट ईयर MBA कर रहे हो? मनोज, फर्स्ट ईयर MBA कर रहे हो? क्या कर रहे हो? मुझे ये बताओ, आपको एग्जाम कब देना है? When are you preparing to give? When are you preparing to give the exam? आपने अभी डिटेल्स लिखी थी पेपर 2 में, कौन सा? आई एम न्यू, आई एम परस्यूइंग मास्टर इन इंडस्ट्रियल रिलेशंस. अच्छा, मास्टर्स इन इंडस्ट्रियल रिलेशन, तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है ना, बस यू डिसाइड व्हेन यू हैव टू गिव द एग्जाम. वो मुझे बताओ, अभी देना है या बाद में देना है? अभी देना है. इट्स ओनली एक ही महीना बचा है, तो आप कैसे करोगे? यू कैन स्टार्ट विद द इजीएस्ट, जो आपको लगता है कि इजी है आपके हिसाब से, आप जल्दी पढ़ पाओगे, वो टॉपिक पहले करो. बाद में देना है ना. सो यू कैन स्टार्ट विथ माई कोर्स विच इज राइट नाउ गोइंग ऑन अनअकैडमी पे. कोई भी एक कोई भी ऐसा यूनिट, गो थ्रू द सिलेबस. यू शुड ऑलवेज स्टार्ट योर स्टडीज with those topic which seems to be easy for you. Once when you are on the Unacademy platform, just go through the classes, whomever you feel कि हाँ मैं इनके क्लासेस समझ में आ रहे हैं, उनके क्लासेस, अपना सिलेबस देखो, जो टॉपिक आपको इजी लग रहा है वो फॉलो करना शुरू करो. अगर आप सेल्फ स्टडी की बात करते हो, Unacademy पे everything would be easy. You can follow any educator because they are teaching you from the zero level, right? Proxima, thank you. Any other query you can ask me related to workers' participation in management. कितने लोगों को समझ में आ गया? Mark in the comment section. और कितने लोगों को नहीं समझ में आया वो भी मार्क करें. Easy कौन सा है पता नहीं चलता. अच्छा मनोज, what are you interested in? पहले आप इंडस्ट्रियल, चलो start your studies with industrial relations. Since you are pursuing your masters in industrial relation, I would rather say start with unit number 5. ठीक है? The most ऐसा यूनिट है जहां से सबसे ज्यादा क्वेश्चंस आते हैं और हर जगह आते हैं. PSCs में, आपके PhD में, आपकी EPFO में, नेट में, सबसे ज्यादा क्वेश्चन यूनिट नंबर 5 से आते हैं. ऐसा हो नहीं सकता कि इस क्वेश्चन से आएगा. ठीक है, फाइन. Any other question you can ask me? Any other query? We have 1 minute, 2 minute more. You can ask me. चलो, waiting for your queries. Quick. क्लियर है? सब कुछ क्लियर? थोड़ा थियोरेटिकल हो गया, थोड़ा लेंदी हो गई क्लास, बट आई हैव कवर्ड मैक्सिमम. ओके, सो आई होप यू अंडरस्टूड. बिफोर लीविंग आई वुड लाइक टू टेल यू, जस्ट अ सेकेंड. फ्रॉम टुमारो I'm starting these special classes continuously. So there would be 2 classes, special classes tomorrow, 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. on Unacademy. 6 p.m. we are going to solve the MCQs related to recommendations made by First National Commission on Labour and Second National Commission on Labour. And every day we would be having this special class. From 5th of September to 16th of September, there is a special series called Revision Series. In this series, I would be taking all the 10 units, every day 1 unit, 1 hour session, 1 unit revision. That would be 10 sessions, 10 unit. 11th session would be the MCQ for first 5 unit. 12th session would be the MCQ for next 5 units. These are the upcoming special classes. What you have to do, if you are the first time attending the Unacademy special class, you can use the code Lakshmi12 to unlock these special classes. They are free. They are free. Okay? Yes, Sakshi. How many questions do we expect from this topic? 5? Minimum. There can be. ठीक है, हर एक टॉपिक से आ जाते हैं. Little bit will go through once. Yes, Sakshi, you can just go through my classes once on the special class. Free classes होते हैं. आप समझो, whenever you feel that yes, if I'm teaching, you are able to understand them, you are most welcome to join the plus, or rather, I have already covered more than 3000 MCQs. You won't find this number of the MCQs related to HRM, IR on platform. So already these are 3000 plus. Okay? Yes, you can ask me, Manoj. You can ask me. Okay? Any other query? How to remember propounder and date? It difficult. So Pravi, she has asked me propounder और date कैसे याद करना है. उसके लिए आप यूनिट नंबर 1 की 5th सितंबर को एक क्लास होगी, रिवीजन क्लास. आई विल गिव यू द चार्ट जहां पे आप प्रपाउंडर और उनकी कंट्रीब्यूशन याद कर लोगे. ठीक है? श्योर. आई हैव नॉट any computer system. I can't attempt sufficient answer. What I do? Self study. Milan, do your self study. It's very important. ठीक है? Self study से अच्छा कुछ नहीं है. Right? PDF download करो and just practice it. Fine. So thank you everyone for being there. Give your feedback if you have liked this session. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the icon button, bell icon, so that you get the notification from next time and you won't miss any of my classes. Enroll for the special classes on Unacademy, which are free. If you are for the first time downloading the app, use the code Lakshmi12 to unlock the special classes. Thank you so much. We will be meeting tomorrow morning plus class and